Hi, guys. Welcome to tonight's Echo Means Business Pro Networking Live event. Echo Means Business is designed to help green industry pros across the globe connect, share, and learn from each other. Tonight's session will focus on women in the green industry. But first, as a quick reminder, EchoMeansBusiness.com, now in its sixth year, is a premier online community and mobile app for the green industry. Visit the site and download the Echo Means Business mobile app to connect with pros like yourself. Join the conversation on tools or business tips, access member rewards, listen to our podcast, or check out our past pro networking videos. My name is Shaenee Allaire from Allaire Lawn Care. Our guest tonight includes Ramona Mullins of Mullins Lawn Enforcement, Abigail and Jacqueline Stuebs of Jar Landscaping LLC, and Samantha McClelland of Freedom Landscapes. Hello, ladies. And now we'll have an introduction of our panel. Ramona, would you like to go first, introducing yourself?
My name is Ramona Mullins, and I'm with Mullins Lawn Enforcement LLC out of Cumberland City, Tennessee.
All right, thanks. Now we'll have Abigail and Jacqueline.
Hey everyone, I am Jacqueline, and I am Abigail. We own Jar Landscaping LLC. We're from Athens, Illinois, and we've been in business for 4 years now.
Okay, awesome. And Samantha.
Hi, I'm Samantha McClelland with Freedom Landscapes. We are located in Greencastle, Indiana, and we have been in business about 3 years now.
Okay, awesome, ladies. So we're going to jump right into it and get into our questions. So question number 1, solely based on your personal experiences, what are the advantages of starting and operating a business while being a woman in the industry?
So I'll go ahead and start if that's okay.
Okay.
I really think that some of the things that I've found that really are an advantage, attention to detail. I feel like women really provide an attention to detail, and we pick up on others, maybe the emotional side of it or so. And when we have a really good sense for communication, and so starting a business that then turns into how you are as far as customer service, and I mean that's a core, at least for us, that's core for business. And so I think that's something that definitely is makes it a little bit easier for us.
Yes, I definitely agree with you. I always say the devil's in the details, and if the devil's in the details, then I'm the devil because I'm like detail oriented. So that's great, Samantha.
Yeah.
What about you, Ramona?
Definitely attention to detail. That was a great answer there. I think another reason is, a lot of people think that men hire us, but it's really not the case. It's women that hire us. They make the budget. So therefore, the reason that we are able to get more jobs is because we're able to see what their vision is. I know I don't understand my husband all the time. We say the same thing, but always argue. When somebody else has to come in and interpret, I'm like, we just said the same thing, then. So yeah, definitely attention to detail, and the fact that we're women, I think, is an advantage for us.
Yes, it's definitely an advantage. All right, Jacqueline?
So we strongly like to use it for our niche and our branding, but also a lot of people have told us that they feel more comfortable around us, I guess, and along with that attention to detail.
Yes, definitely. Especially older clients. They really love women and like they just cling to us. And I just love older clients. So it works. Abigail?
Yeah, I was going to go along with that. A lot of our clients are like older ladies, and they have told us that they don't feel quite comfortable with like other men out there. So it does really help get us clients.
Yes, I agree. All right, ladies. Our second question. Do you think women face or have faced challenges in the industry due to our gender? And what obstacles have you encountered, if any at all?
I do believe that it's given some challenges. I know that physically there are some challenges. Finding tools that work better. I mean, I'm not built like a man. I'm not in the gym, or I wasn't born with that extra muscle structure. So finding tools and equipment that fit me better to where I can be just as I am, that's definitely a struggle, trying to get that. That's been one of the things that I've come into play with, just finding, especially even something as far as trimming and stuff like that, what weed eater fits my body better, what in the weight of it, and how can I get the job done just as well as a man with less strength. So that's definitely a struggle that I have had. Okay. And I feel like, I think part of the question was what struggles that, they could incur or come across. The being taken seriously. I mean, we're all women, and that's what we're talking about here. It's definitely a field where sometimes that you get looked at and they're just like, are you the one who's going to be doing the job? Can you do it? Yeah. So trying to be taken seriously and respected for that, that's something that is definitely a struggle.
Right. I definitely agree with being taken seriously, and people saying, oh, let me speak to your wife. Maybe I can get the price lowered if I speak to your wife. And I'm the boss. Like, I make the prices too. So yeah, definitely it's a respect factor, and, just respecting women. You mentioned the trimmer. Which trimmer do you prefer?
So we just bought an Echo. I think it's a 2620.
20. That's my favorite.
We just bought one of those, and I have become very fond of that. Prior to that, ran still the FS1R. I think it's a little heavy, but that Echo, it's where it's at.
Yes, I've had Echo 2620s for years. That's the only trimmer I will get. I love it. Yep. All right, great, Samantha. So, Abigail, what do you think about this question?
Kind of going along with how you can't find tools that like properly fit you or whatever. We've had a lot of difficulty finding like proper workwear, because I feel like there's not really that much selection for women.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Absolutely. All right, Ramona.
I don't know. Well, when I first started my business, I definitely ran into a lot of issues. One, because we deal with a lot of hills here, so just knowing how to maneuver the mower through that kind of terrain was a challenge. And to have a come along with me because my husband got me out a couple of times. My rescue from his job. So yeah, it was definitely fun getting. I've been in business for 11 years now, so it's definitely like as I've grown it to different areas. It used to be just helping out old ladies that needed help with their garden, pulling weeds, and from there I learned a lot about plants. Then it mowing yards, and from yards going into landscaping. So definitely there's quite a bit of challenges throughout the years of different stuff. The weed eaters can be an issue, weight wise. I found that the T262 was kind of just like that right weight for a weed eater that you're using all day long, the Shindawa one. So definitely finding that right tool for yourself, especially when you're using it all day long, I'm constantly having to kind of put it on my hip, in order to keep it straight, just to
yes.
myself. So I definitely have to find ways to make sure that the tools fit me, because in reality, none of them are made for us.
Right. I have to balance it on my thigh. Like,
I'm so good at. They're like, how do you keep that thing so straight? I said, I use my hip.
Yes. Okay, Jacqueline.
Okay, so on the side of like clients, we've never really had a problem with it, but this year we actually ran into our first person who declined us because we are women. During the consultation, they were concerned because we were women, and they asked us if we would have a male friend being like helping us. So we were really taken back by that because we've never had it before, but I guess it is out there.
Yeah, that is absolutely insane. Do you have a male that's going to be helping you?
So I've had calls come in and men go, "Can I speak to the man of the house?" And I said, "I am the man of the house."
Right.
So I feel like that has to do a lot with like the older generation of men, not
Yeah.
really, because most men in this generation, again, the women take care of all the bills. It's very rare to find someone that is, that prejudiced towards a woman.
Right. Okay, awesome, ladies. So, our next question: do we as women have an advantage in running a green industry business that men don't? What's your personal experience?
I do think we have an advantage. Again, it goes back to attention to detail. It goes back to the fact that the female clientele is going to be more, more comfortable with us. The husbands are going to be more comfortable with us. I'm in a military town. They choose us because they have a woman coming to their place instead of a man. And we do pretty much anything for them outside. So if they need pressure washing, to find somebody that can do a lot more than just mowing, I think that's a great way to turn 30 clients to 90, and a way of just building that rapport with them to where you're just always coming back.
Right. Absolutely. Okay. Samantha, same question.
Yeah. So, like she said, yeah, of course, the attention to detail, things like that brings it. But, a lot of times we're kind of talking about how, somebody may say, can I talk to the man of the house type of thing? But it's us. And so there's some benefits there when you can create easier relationships on that side when, on the back end, the man may be the forefront, but then you have the women who are in the back who maybe they're handling the family finances or whatnot and helping make those final decisions. And so it helps to, I think you can communicate a little bit closer level. And so that's definitely a benefit as far as gaining more clients and things like that, is that you've got that in with the woman and you have more things that you can talk about them just on a friendly level. You have more in common with the woman. And so then you banter back and forth just like men do with each other. And so you make that relationship, and that's definitely a benefit that I found, especially with some of our commercial clients. Typically there's a woman in the office or who does billing or who we send the quotes to, and I'm communicating with them, and we have just kind of that unspoken trust that we just know, just like I said, just like men do. So that's a benefit that we can have as well.
Yes, absolutely. All right, Jacqueline.
One thing I think is like being able to be certified as a women-owned business. And then being able to get like those contracts or leads because you're a woman. We even just like the other day, we had a client who chose us because we were women over like a different estimate.
Oh, awesome. Abigail?
Yeah, going along with that, there is a lot of opportunities to market your business as women-owned. So even like on our Google business, it gave us the option to put that into our description. So it kind of like just shows people that. And then going on with our brand, it does give like definitely whenever we're out working, a lot of people look at us and turn their heads because it is something different. So I think it gives us that little niche.
Yes, absolutely. I've had clients come up to me and say, "Oh my goodness, I've never seen a woman doing lawn care. So this is awesome. Like, we're going to keep you forever." So people really love it. They like to see women in the industry. So I think it's a great thing to have us in the industry, and hopefully more people will come. Next question, guys. Have you ever not been taken seriously because of your gender? Anyone? Samantha, I see you smiling.
Well, it's not necessarily client based, but or it was with amazing dealer. So we run Dixie chopper mowers. We just happen to be blessed that we live in the city where it was invented, and where it's manufactured.
Okay.
We have an amazing dealer. But when I first started going in there, I was kind of always foreshadowed because so our company, it's co-owned between myself and my boyfriend Josh, and Josh was in there a lot more. And whenever I would walk in, even though we're both on mowers, we're both doing the same things, when I would walk in, it was almost a foreshadow. And so it took a while before they were like, oh, she's a decision maker too. She's doing the same work. And they did it right off the get. So that just, and like I said, they're my favorite people ever. They have saved the day more times than I can count. But that's definitely, that's what came to mind. That relationship there at first, that was probably my first experience where they were just kind of like, oh, okay, so she's here too, and she's doing just as much and making those decisions. And I'm in there more than he is, far more than he is.
Mm-hmm.
And that was definitely, at first I felt that, until we built up that relationship. But I did feel that at the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, Ramona, has there been a time when you weren't taken seriously as a woman in the industry?
Really, it was just that one phone call that I got, from an elderly man that lived out out here because we live in the countryside pretty much.
Okay.
When I answered the phone, he wanted to speak to the man of the house, and that was about the only one that I ever got. God has blessed us very much to where I think that we attract what we put out there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Out there, and we're strong, and we go and do this stuff. I've had numerous times other lawn care companies stop and tell my husband, I wish I had a wife like that.
Yes. Yeah, we get that a lot as well.
The man having to provide for everything. So, for a man to know that a woman can go out there and do what they do, and that we've got their backs if they get sick or whatever, I just think that is such a great dynamic for a couple.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, Jacqueline.
Yeah, I definitely agree with like going to like a place and not being taken seriously. So we noticed it a lot when we first started going to like the mulch yard or something like that. A lot of people looked at us weird, didn't know like that we had our own company. They thought we were employed by someone else. And also they don't like, I feel like there's been like a lot of times where they didn't think we were as knowledgeable in like a piece of equipment or like type of edging or something like that. They don't really take you as seriously.
Absolutely. Abigail?
Yeah, I can agree with that also. And then whenever we did start with social media to begin with, we kind of got a few comments just to begin with because of us being girls. But lately, like we started our social media about 4 years ago, but I think has progressed since then, and we are starting to see more women in the green industry. So it does definitely help with that.
Yes, it definitely does. All right. And for me, not being taken seriously comes from women, not in the industry, but just like women abroad. They'll stop and be like, "Oh, may I speak to your husband? I need to ask your husband about a quote. Are you knowledgeable about this piece of equipment? Like, they'll just like try to quiz me, and when I know the stuff, they're kind of taken back, like, "Oh, okay, I didn't think she knew what she was talking about." But yeah, we definitely get looked at, I guess, as less than sometimes in the field. But sometimes people look at us as superstars. So it just depends. All right. Next question. For all the women out there looking to start in this industry, as an operator or business owner, what are your top tips and suggestions for ladies that want to do what we do?
Definitely do your research. I kind of jumped in there when I first started. My husband was deploying for the umpteenth time, and he literally had to teach me we needed a mower for our own house. And so we just went to Lowe's, or actually Home Depot, and tried it out. And he just taught me how to use the weed eater on the way out. So I definitely kind of just jumped in there because I needed it for myself. And I've always been an entrepreneur, just not on this kind of in the green industry. I've ran different types of businesses like daycares and stuff like that. And but when we moved to where we've moved, there was an HOA and it didn't allow for me to do the daycare. So that kind of took me out of my comfort zone, because now I was like, where am I going to get the income I'm used to having? So I basically, when we needed the mower, I was like, well, I guess this is the next thing. Never thought about that happening. So it's really just, if you love landscaping, if you love lawn care, if you love any of that stuff, just go after your passion. All it takes is a business license and an ad in the paper, because that's all I did. And here we are 11 years later. We're the top company in our town. So.
All right, Jacqueline.
So I would say just be yourself. Don't be afraid of what other people will say. Just do it and use it to your advantage, and put it into your branding and use it as much as you can.
Okay, awesome. Samantha?
I got booted out earlier and I had to switch. My laptop decided to just restart in the middle, so I'm on my phone. So I missed the question.
Okay, the question is, for all the women out there looking to start in this industry as an operator or business owners, what are your top tips and suggestions for ladies that want to do what we do?
That's a big one. Find your passion. Find your passion. So when it comes to the green industry, there's a lot of different niches as far as whether it's lawn care, landscape maintenance, landscaping, hardscaping, chem app. There's so much to it. Yeah, sure, you love to be outdoors. That's great. You like to do this, but find your niche and be passionate about it. What part of it are you drawn to learn more about? Like here just recently, I found that I can't stop learning about the specific, like the chem apps and the numbers in more detail, and for our cool season grass and things like that. And so, that even though we're landscape maintenance, we may branch out, and who knows, in another few years, maybe we'll offer, chemical application and a whole nother crew. It's just, you find your passion and stick to it and push through, network, ask questions, Google, read. That's my tips are to stick with it. Finding other women out there, it's empowering. You see that they can do it. And like I said earlier, the whole finding tools that work, ask somebody, what do you use? How does it work? The whole, bouncing it on your hip, to help carry it. Those little tips and tricks. Don't be afraid to reach out to somebody. And whether it's male or female, find somebody who you're close to and just be like, I'm struggling with this, what can I do? So I would say just being passionate and find exactly what that niche is and stick with it, and then reach out and ask questions. I mean, continuing learning, that's been the best part for me.
That is awesome. I agree with the continuing learning part. There's always more to learn in this field. Once you think like, okay, I have this figured out, it's like, okay, wait a minute, what is this new lawnmower? What is this new battery powered trimmer? So it's always something new to learn. And I went to school for science, so I'm utilizing, botany in the field. And I'm like, oh, look at this flower. The other day, this lady was talking to me and she was like, do you know what kind of plant that is? And I was telling her about it. She's like, oh, you're just so knowledgeable about plants. And I was like, well, yeah, I kind of studied it in college, not doing what I went to college for, but, the information is still useful. So Abigail, what's your answer to the question?
Yeah, going along with always learning. Don't be afraid to learn new things. There's tons of mentors that you can find, whether it be on the EMB community or Instagram or YouTube or anything like that. And then don't ever get discouraged. There's probably always going to be setbacks, but you can always overgo those and just always stay positive throughout your journey.
Excellent. All right, we have a question coming in from Sarah. Question: what pushed you into the lawn care business? Anyone wants to answer that?
Can I go first on that one?
Sure.
So this is a funny story. We went to Launchpreneur Academy by Brian Fullerton. We went to that last year, and we had the absolute pleasure of sitting with Britt Dowd, who owns Green Again Lawn. And we got to spend the day with him, and he kind of asked our story, and he got a kick out of it. So Josh and I co-own Freedom Landscapes, and he had been working in the green industry for some time when him and I met. And, you know, when you first meet somebody, you're talking about your hopes and your dreams. And he had been like, you know, someday I want to branch out on my own and start my own business. And I thought that was great. You know, I was working in, you know, corporate management desk job. And I was like, I'll support you however I can. A few months later, I get a text that said I knew he had a meeting that morning with the people he was working for. And that morning he sent me a text and said, by the way, I bought out part of the business. And I'm like, what? And he's like, we're business owners. And I'm like, oh, like we're doing this. And so I saw his passion, and that just drove me. And, you know, and that drove me to not only to the passion in the green industry, but just seeing how much he wanted to learn, and, you know, how much he wanted to read and hear and listen and network and grow. That was inspiring to me. And I never knew that I would enjoy and be passionate and love the green industry the way I do. But it was because of him sending me a text after we had only been dating a couple months, where he's like, oh, by the way, we're going to own this business now. And I'm like, so we jumped in feet first, and that's how I got into it. It was, we hit the ground running, and I mean, we butted heads a lot. Like, I think it was, I think you had said earlier that he says one thing, she says another, you know, but you guys are really saying the same thing, but learning your communication together. I think Ramona had said that.
Yes.
And, you know, learning that communication together, we're thinking the same thing. We have the same goals, but just communicating it in a way that each of us understands. But yeah, that's how I got into it. It was feet first with a text that said, we've got business now. So.
Okay, great. Ramona?
Like I was saying earlier, I actually ran a daycare, and when we moved to Clarksville, the HOA in the area that we were in wasn't going to allow me to do it. And we needed a lawnmower, and we needed a weed eater, and we needed a trailer for his motorcycle. So I was like, tax write-off. I'm thinking business mind. And so basically started out just by putting an ad in the paper. My main focus, the reason I run businesses and have for years, is my kids. So my husband was deploying for the umpteenth time. So my goal was always they can't have both parents, so I have to be extra there. So during that time, I was able to work between 8:30 and 3:30, make my own schedule, allow other women to work with me that needed the same support. I have worked in corporate world. You get made feel guilty for being a mom, you know, for when they're sick, when you're sick because they got sick. So definitely my motivation was to, one, bring extra income for my family, and two is my kids, because it was very important to me for them to have stability.
Started as well for our children, just to be in their lives constantly, you know, and not have to put them in daycare. So I definitely understand, Ramona. I agree with you. All right, Jacqueline and Abigail, what pushed you guys in the lawn care business?
So for us, our passion for horticulture and stuff like that started in high school. Whenever we were in FFA, we were able to work in the greenhouses, and we were actually put into a landscaping class for design, turf, that type of thing. And we really loved that. So we knew we wanted to go to college for it, but we didn't know which direction we wanted to go. So we tried applying to landscaping like companies, and we never heard back from any of them. So we decided to go out and do it ourselves. So we waited until our 18th birthday to form our LLC. And now here we are.
Just graduated from college. You want to tell us a little about that?
Yeah, so we went to college for landscape horticulture. We really loved the idea too of starting our business up when we first started college. That way we were able to build it up during those 4 years, and then also learn about plants, how to run a landscaping business, that type of thing. So now we just are going full-time this year, so it's pretty exciting for us.
Aw, awesome. All right, and we have another question, ladies. What's the best part about your job, and what do you love the most? Ramona, we'll start with you.
I think the best part of our job is we do have control over our schedule. We may not control it very well because we love what we do, and I am a workaholic. I love what I do, and I love helping people. But if I want to take off, I can. Maybe not during this time of year, but I know when I can during the winter. I just have more flexibility now. If it rains, the client is not going to be upset that their grass didn't get done today because I'm sick. They knew for the longest time it was just me out there working, and then a girlfriend of mine, Ashley, had come out there and started working with me, and they knew that if we didn't show up, one, they would get a call, but two, it's because I was sick. There was no other reason. I'm sick or my kids are sick. Like, there's no other reason. So they knew that I worked hard, and just having clients care about you in that way, they'll actually call you to check on you because they know if you didn't show up, there's something wrong. And I don't think there's any type of relationship like that you can have anywhere else.
All right, Jacqueline and Abigail.
So for me, I think it would be like the connection with the clients, and being able to go out there. We've had so many people say that they're embarrassed of their lawn or their landscape, but then to be able to transform it and then make them proud of their house or where they're living, to be able to go out and enjoy that area, I think that's something that's really neat.
Yeah, super neat. Do you guys post a lot of before and after pictures on your Instagram? Cool. All right, Samantha.
I have to go with what they said. That's part of what our name, Freedom Landscape. So freedom for all sorts. I mean, it's freedom for us, just like Ramona said, freedom for us to have some schedule and do what we need and want to do with our family, but primarily freedom of time for our clients. There's nothing that makes me happier and I get more gratification from is whenever we pull away from a job and we know that we have given them more time that they can spend with their family. They can go out on their porch or whatever area it is, and they can enjoy it. So many people work so hard to invest in their home and their property, and they work to have these things. And, they are blessed enough that they can pay somebody else to take care of it. So they can have some time to truly enjoy some of the fruits of their labor. So that's really, that's huge on my part. And that's, like I said, that's just probably the most gratifying, is just knowing that our hard work can give somebody the freedom to enjoy their family with what time they have.
Okay, great. Ladies, we have another question coming in from Spade 77379. Spade says, what is everyone's mission statement? Do you guys have a mission statement? Ramona?
I don't know. I really have not thought about that. I mean, of course we have it in our work, but not really put it into words. Definitely giving people back their time is, a part of our mission. And what they give us in return is, again, it goes back to connection. I think as women, the reason that we do so well in this industry and the reason that, we connect is because of the relationships that we're just automatically in a relationship mode right there. And if you can just be honest and blunt with the customer, they love that. They may not know what they want, but I know what they need. And when I look at their yard, so when we give them what they need, it takes a load off of them completely. We mainly do all cleanups and stuff like that are overgrown. So taking a home that is just engulfed in years of just people working to try to maintain their life and their families, and who knows what kind of struggles that they had, medical issues or whatever, and you go in there and you help them out and you take that load off of them. I mean, there's no better feeling than that.
I completely agree with you. That sounds like a good mission statement to me, Ramona.
Better with words than I
am. You did good. Samantha?
So it's our mission statement. It's where our name comes from. Our mission statement is freedom. Our purpose is to give freedom to our clients of everything I explained before. We want to give freedom to our team members as well. We don't have employees, we have team members. Mm-hmm. And we want to give them freedom as well. Freedom to learn and advance, freedom to make a good income so they can do the things that they want to do and support who they want to support within their personal life. And like I said, and freedom for ourselves to build a business, to do positive things in our community, and to be able to make all those choices by being business owners. But that's where our name is. That's the foundation of our mission statement, and it's definitely the foundation of our culture.
Great. All right, girls.
So for us, our company slogan is where you see double the quality. So I feel like we always try to go the extra mile. And we once heard a quote from Henry Ford about quality is doing the right thing when no one is watching. So we kind of try to work by that. We do, everything. We pay attention to the details, try to do every little thing we can for the customer to make our work stand out from the others.
That is awesome. Lakeisha said that entrepreneurship equals freedom. So it kind of goes hand in hand with what you were saying, Samantha. It's freedom landscapes.
Yeah, it does. It can equal more freedom in certain aspects. Not always the aspect of time for us sometimes. I mean, entrepreneurship it's the basis of somebody taking risks, big risks to go forward. And sometimes those risks are very constraining to you. But yes, in the big picture, and it is definitely can create more freedom. Freedom of creativity is probably number one. We can make our decision where we go, what we do, how we want to do it. So that's definitely a part. And then I wanted what you girls were saying as far as quality. I wanted to kind of touch on that real quick. So something that we do is whenever we hire somebody, speed and efficiency is always a priority. I mean, we're talking entrepreneurship, we're business owners. You want to make a profit, but quality first. Mm-hmm. Like learn the quality and learn the correct tasks or learn how to complete the tasks correctly. And then once your quality's there, then we can go to speed and efficiency, and they'll go hand in hand once you know. And once they have that ingrained in them, what that final product really, not only what it should be, but what it can be. There's some days you think, oh man, that looks great. But then you touch on that quality a little bit more next time and you're like, oh, it's even better. So absolutely quality first and then speed and efficiency after that.
Absolutely. Anyone else want to add to that? Yay, nay. All right. Okay, let's move on to balance. As women, we balance work, home, school, relationships. We balance a lot. So how do you guys balance your everyday day-to-day activities with your work life? Ramona?
It's very hard because I love what I do, and my husband loves what he does, and our kids work for us. I've got a 20-year-old that used to work for us. Now she's gone on her own. She's going to be, she's a cosmetologist, so, and going to be starting her own business. So I'm super proud. So I do feel like that's another advantage of being a mom in this business, or being a mom in any business. Just showing your kids that they can put their mind to anything and do absolutely anything. They do not have to follow the mold. And that's where the freedom comes, isn't, being able to rely on yourself to make the hustle and make that money. It comes easier with time and confidence to do it better. But I think the biggest thing is carving out time for my husband. So the kids automatically, get that time because they're kids, and whether we want it or not, they take it from us. And husbands, they tend to be patient. Mine is very much so. So when he wants to be, we all have husbands. They all have limits, and it's hard when you're a strong woman, and you're on job sites, you're telling people what they need to do, what you want them to do, what you want the aspect to be. So balancing the husband relationship has been my hardest challenge, and I've had to work really hard at it this year and the past years to make sure that he feels a part of that he's important to, because he's a giver like me, and we tend to give to other people and forget that we're not giving time to ourselves. So now, like today, he was like, pencil me in for 9:30, because he knew I was having this meeting. And so just doing cute little stuff for one another throughout the day, just making funny jokes, or, just giving him something to look forward to coming home to after a long day. I think it's great. But yeah, that's one of the toughest things is giving time to my husband.
Awesome. Well, I definitely have a different work-life balance because my husband works with me. So it's great. We get to go on dates throughout the day, even if it's going to Starbucks and just getting a drink and hanging out. And, with the kids, we have 3 children, 15, 11, and 9. So they're always calling me, FaceTiming me like, Mom, Aiden's hitting me, or Zoe touched me, so it's always something going on. But I like it because, like Samantha said, being an entrepreneur, you have the freedom to deal with any issues that come up. And I just really appreciate that about us working for ourselves. So, Samantha?
So I'm in the boat of both of what you and Ramona had mentioned. So the kids, just balancing kids and things like that. And we have, between Josh and I, we have 5. We have 5 kids, and it's busy and it's crazy, and I love it and I live for it. But Josh and I work together as well. We're communicating all the time, and so, and our office is on our property. So, if the kids are, they're in the house and I'm out in the office, things like that. Getting the work-life balance is separating work and life, because no matter which direction I turn, one's there. And a lot of times they're there at the same time. And so prioritizing, the balance is just prioritizing, what's going on today. Josh and I, every morning we have, even though we know what's going on and we know what the schedule is, we have a meeting every morning where we go over what each of our priorities are. I know what's on his personal and work to-do list. He knows what's on my personal and work to-do list. And so the balance is trying to separate those whenever you're consumed in both at the same time, work and life. So it's a struggle, but prioritizing and communicating nonstop is the only way to survive. At least, I mean, for me, that's the only way. Just communicating and prioritizing what you're doing in that moment. That's the only way to get through it.
I totally agree, Samantha. And my mom chimed in, Natalie. She said, I agree with Samantha 100%. So, so good job. All right, girls, Abigail and Jacqueline.
So for us, because we were going to college, it was like a huge struggle for us to keep that balance, and we barely had any free time. But now that we are full time, we are noticing that we're able to get organized a lot more. We're not like traveling back and forth and going back to school, going to work. But definitely get organized and get a schedule, and then try to get a routine, even if it's not regular. But definitely organization.
Okay, yeah, totally. And our last question of the night, we have to wrap things up. It's been so fun. But our last question is, what's the hardest part about your job? Anybody want to take it? Samantha, I see you thinking.
The hardest part, and we won't even go on like the physical labor part. We already touched base on that. The hardest part is knowing your limits and your boundaries, learning how to say no. That is the hardest part. Because when you're a business owner, you want to do it all. You want to be the best at it. You want to take on everything. You want to show everyone what you can do. There's not enough time in the day. There's not enough strength in my mentality. And like I said earlier with the niche, sometimes it's not enough in my niche. It's not worth me taking that job. And so that is probably it, is just the boundaries of, it's hard to pinpoint those boundaries. And at the end of the day, sometimes you have to say no, and sometimes you have to say no quite a few times, but learning how to do that will grow immensely your confidence, and like I said, in your skill in whatever niche it is. That way you don't have your hands in a gazillion different areas if you're not perfected in a gazillion different areas at that time. And it's the only way I can keep my sanity. You just have to say no sometimes, but it's hard.
Absolutely. And I agree with you. Like, that's my thing too, is learning how to say no. So it is super hard. What about you guys? Abigail?
So for us, I think the hardest part about it is that we do like everything for the business, and it is kind of difficult to keep track of everything, such as like all the tax information, all of the office work, and the field work. So I think that's one of our biggest challenges.
Okay. All right, Jacqueline, do you agree?
Yeah, I would say just doing all of it is difficult when you're trying to do all of it. Sometimes you have to push some things away and like prioritize your priorities type of thing. That can be kind of a struggle.
Yeah. All right, Ramona, what about you?
We've been in business quite a long time now, so we've kind of figured out some of the things that we needed to fix, or especially when it comes to time management, making sure that I'm telling customers, even because weather has so much to do with what we do, give yourself an extra week on. Don't be afraid of losing the job. Tell them you're booked 3 to 4 weeks out, even though you only booked 3 weeks out. To give you that cushion to where you're not stressing yourself out. And that is one thing that I've implemented this year and into it, because before I was just always so afraid, because, we do have team members, and, those team members need to feed their families. So I'm constantly out there trying to get this work and making sure that the workflow stays consistent, because we do everything. We do everything from landscaping to mowing, to sod installation, to drainage. So because there's different passions in our team. So in order to feed those different passions, we do different work. I love landscaping. My husband loves dirt work. So, I try to kind of like sprinkle a little love to everybody and what they love, so we don't get bored, so that we grow as a team. And the mowing is there because it's consistent and it's what gets you other jobs. But definitely in the past, my biggest challenge was just stretching myself so thin. And because I am so, my word is my bond, I would kill myself to get all of that stuff done. And our team would have to work long hours after, a few days of rain. And that's really hard on everyone. And so definitely give yourself more time. You will look, one, you'll look more professional. Two, believe it or not, they'll hire you more because they see that you're booked. So
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much. And thank you to everyone who joined us live tonight. And a special thanks to our panelists. You guys did an amazing job. You can connect with each of our guests directly on Echo Means Business. Just check out their profile in the member directory section. You can follow them or direct message them on the Echo Means Business website. And guys, just a reminder, mark your calendars. Our next pro networking event will happen live right here on YouTube, where we'll be talking about the importance or not of having a YouTube channel. Join us on July 8th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for that one. Remember, you can watch a recording of this and other Pro Network sessions on the Echo Means Business community or listen to it on the Echo Means Business podcast. Visit echomeansbusiness.com right now and register for free access to great content, contests, and connections. Good night, everyone.